Hello, in this video, it's the one all four of you have been waiting for. It's the headlight wiper video. But we're first of all going to have to do a little cleanup operation because she's had a little accident and, we got to tidy it up. So let's do that first and then, we'll do the fun stuff, okay? This'll do. This is also pretty good. So I guess if you've got a Mini or an Allegro or pretty much anything with an A-series engine, you probably know what all that was about already. But what you can see down there are these two rods. They're the gear selector rods, and there's like a seal on the gearbox to keep the oil in around where those rods go into the box. And that seal's a bit of a weak point and it tends to go, and when it goes all the oil comes out. So as you might expect with Agnetha's history, that hasn't been repaired in the last 35 years at least. So it's gone and I've got a catch can under it now. So what I'll have to do at some point is drain the rest of the oil out and find a way to replace that seal. But since we've got things like brakes and, more importantly, headlight wipers to do, that's not a big issue. Alright, so headlight wipers. I think they look fantastic. I mean, they really seem to suit it, and you get the impression, I think, that it was always meant to be like this. It's got this nice crossover look to it. And at first glance, it looks designed, which it completely isn't. When British Leyland were told to export cars to Sweden because we have decided you need to export cars to Sweden, they were caught off guard, I think, by new legislation that came into Sweden that says all cars have got to have headlight wipers on. So with it being BL, probably a lot of other manufacturers did this as well, they just hacked something together. So what you're actually seeing here is a kind of hack that I don't believe was even written down. I'll show you what I mean. It kind of looks a bit elegant with this kind of upward stuff and, the way it just kind of curves over like that. But that's basically where the elegance ends with this. So let's start at the beginning. So what we have here, so normally on Allegro, this is where cats and small animals would normally climb into your engine bay at night and have a little sleep. But here there's not much space for them to do that because we've got a windscreen wiper motor. So this is exactly the same type of motor and gearbox that you would have on the windscreen wipers, which are, if I move this out of the way, which are there. And all you've got inside here is, that's the motor which spins around, and then it's got a worm gear that then drives a wheel around continuously like that. There's like a little an attachment on this gear that's connected to an arm, and like a connecting rod on a steam engine or something. So this spins around and pulls the arm in and out like that. And then inside this tube you've got a cable that goes through the tube. So the steel tube basically acts as a guide, and then it goes down into the wheel boxes, which are obscured by the radiator on this side. But I think, yeah, here, now that I've moved the radiator, you can actually see this one. So this is a wheel box, and it just has a gear in, and maybe you can even see it in there, I don't know. Basically, as the cable moves in and out, it actually moves the gear wheel here one way and then the other. And this then drives the wiper arms up and down. And that's exactly like you'd have on the windscreen, and in the case of the Allegro estate, on the tailgate as well. Like I say, it's not really been designed. All they've had to do really is, these are just parts bin, could have been from anywhere. Maybe if anyone is actually watching this, and if they can be bothered to comment, maybe you could let me know if you recognize what car these might have been from. I'm guessing maybe a Mini or an MGB, something like that. And the wheel box is just mounted on these brackets, which are just screwed to the body, bolted to the body here. So I can well imagine, like, these Allegros were just produced in Longbridge, and they were put in a corner of the car park, and there's probably Bob and Fred pushing a shopping trolley around full of windscreen wiper parts, and they just come along, drill some holes, stick the brackets in, and just kind of bolt it all together. I mean, it looks okay, but the main problem is when it runs, and that's because the arms have much too far of a sweep, and that's why they ended up putting these wire, what I call cope cages, on, which just stick on this little fascia here. Because what happens is the arms are going to want to go up and ping off the light. So what happens is, instead it goes up to the cope cage and it goes like, and then it goes back down, and then it goes and does the same here, like, and then it comes back. I'll show you this in a second. So it's all a bit improvised, and when I've been researching this online, lo and behold, I've seen quite a few pictures of Swedish Allegros that don't have these, or they maybe have one, because they just corrode and drop off through the strain of constantly holding these things back and trying to keep them on the lights. But it looks good, and that's all that matters. The other oddity that Allegroists would have noticed is the enormous screen wash reservoir that's required for these headlight wipers. It's actually even bigger than the one for the windscreen, which goes there. I've got the original over here. So this is the factory fitted original reservoir. So yeah, I wasn't interested in putting that back on, so I just recycled one of similar size that I had lying around. What's missing here is a washer pump, because all the screen wash pumps had corroded. There are 3 on this car, so one for the windscreen, one for the tailgate, and one for the headlight wipers. And this is meant to go there. So these holes where the old one was connected, and then I think it's powered by these terminals. So whenever you run the headlight wipers, you're also going to pump some juice onto the headlights. So here in the cockpit, if you want to switch the headlight wipers on, so there's a little panel that normally sits there, and here you've got the rear screen wash and wiper button, and what should be here, but it was broken, should be the button for the headlight wipers. Now where has that gone? Oh yeah, it's here. So there are 3 cables. So if it's just a switch, why are there 3 cables? Well, that's because these are self-parking wipers. So what you have is a driving circuit that just drives them up and down continuously. Wah, 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 wah. And then you have a parking circuit that's going to drive the arms until they reach the parking position. So it's like wah, 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 wah. And then you switch it off and it's in this kind of midway position. And the parking circuit is then going to drive it to the parking position and then switch it off. I think we can demonstrate that actually. So if I get my improvised switch, so I think the middle one is the live. So if we jam that into the middle, we need to switch the ignition on, don't we? Okay, but don't switch the engine on. That's it. So the middle one's live, and then so we tap that and off they go. And then we put it in the parking position. Like that. Yeah, so you saw the way that these cope cages work. Not a long-term solution, so I think although they look great, this is basically a box ticking exercise. But it's a nice one, and I like it, and it gives the car bags of character, and it's just unique really. Well, it's not unique because there's a few of them around, you know what I mean. Pedant's corner, sorry, I'll stop there. So what we're missing is a working switch. So the club have sent me not 1 but 2. I think I'm the first person to ever ask for one. So there you go, that's the switch. And you see there you've got the live, and then the driving circuit and the parking circuit. So when the switch is in the off position, it's pushing down, so it's closed the parking circuit, and then when you press it, it then sends current to the driving circuit. And it's one of those where it doesn't latch, so you just press it and it kind of wipes them for a bit, and then you let it go. So I think with these you kind of have to prise them apart, stick the plug on the back, and then jam it together in the fascia. And I'm always a bit frightened of breaking these because they are quite delicate. And I think it also needs a bit of a wire brushing as well. It's been in a box for 50 odd years, so it's a little bit oxidized. Horrible things. I ordered 2 because I'm half expecting to break this one. Oh no, no, okay. And then all the insides fall out if you're not careful. There we go. Oof. Yeah, these things are horrible. It's already coming apart. Jesus. Great. Okay, but we'll just check it with the multimeter. I'm not taking all this out because experience has shown that that is a one-way street. So if it's in the up position, we should have just put it to beep mode. Lots of resistivity there. Give it a brush. Hopefully it's just these terminals, but we may have to take it apart. Yeah. Take it apart. Okay, great. First take the spring out. Or will it just pop out if we... Great. Guarding. Oh yeah, that's oxidized, isn't it? Yeah, and they've got grease all over them. Lovely. Yeah, it's just oxidation. So if you're using this every day, you're just going to scrape the oxide off each time. But if they haven't been used for half a century, it's not going to work. You're just going to have to scrape it off with a wire brush. Well, that looks alright. Now, which way up was it? It's that way up. And that means that, oh yeah, you can see it's like that. So this boy going that way, I guess. Bloody hell, I hate these things. Who's that? Yeah, that's the right way around. Okay, but don't put them back together because we have to put the plug on and then put this back in the fascia and then put it all back together and not drop these bloody things on the floor. Ugh, got grease all over my fingers. Put it through the right way up, keeping hold of the clips. Try again. Clips. I love these things. Please just go in. Nope. Clip came out. What are these for anyway? They don't bloody do anything. If the worst comes to the worst, I shall just hot glue it like I've done to the other one. It's the wrong way around. That's the way. Wait a minute. Have I put this in upside down? Jesus Christ. No, it's the right way up. But I've put the plug on the wrong way around because the spring's in the wrong way around. Okay. I love these things. They're so cool and annoying, like cats. So that needs to go around that way. Pull this out, flip it the other way around, get grease all over my fingers, and put it back in. Find the clips, put them back in for what it's worth, which is not a lot. Can't really keep all the clips because my fingers are so greasy. Oh man, I hate these switches. Jesus Christ. Somebody. Can't see anything either. I suppose I could put a light in here, but that would make things too easy. Please, for the love of God, just go in. Yeah, that's it. Done. Wrong way up. Completely the wrong way up. How the hell did I do that? That's ridiculous. Phew, okay, I did it. Driving myself mad. Partly me being stupid, partly these switches being stupid. So, ignition's on. Oh, no. I think I found the secret. So you have to kind of get it halfway in, holding the clips between your thumb and your finger, and then you can plug the actual switch part on, and then you can fit the plug and then just slide it all the way in. Let's see if that works, but this is driving me mad. Okay, I think that's it. Let's try it. So ignition on, and please just work. Okay. So I think the mechanism was jammed that time. Let's have a look around the front, see what's happening. Yeah, they've got stuck at the bottom. I can feel that just doesn't want to come up. Not too clever, that. Although they're free now. Let's try it with the old switch. Something to do with the switch, perhaps? Short circuit? What would cause that? Because this is working, right? It's amazing how something like a little switch can be so complicated to fix. I guess it's easier if you know what you're doing. So you can see that we've got contact down there, and then the live and the driving circuit at the top. And when we press the switch, it's actually the wrong way around, isn't it? So it's kind of moving along the driving circuit and the live, but it's never actually touching the parking circuit. So this is the wrong way up for a start. Right, now it's the right way up. So when it's off, we've got the parking circuit on, and when you press the switch down, it's going to switch on the driving circuit. Then you let it go, back to the parking circuit. So the only thing I have to do is just put this in the right flipping way around. Alright, after much trial and error, we'll get this switch on now. So that's all in position, and the clips are in. So we put this on, and it should just clip in very cooperatively and without any kind of annoying things going on. Yeah, that's it. That is in. And then we connect it. Oh, then does it work? That sounded right. I'll put you around the front and then you can check. Takes a bit of persuasion sometimes. Do you know what? That'll do. Let's try and get the washer pump going now. We can only hope everything else is a bit more straightforward, which I think it is. First, let's just check that these actually do operate the washer pumps and they're not for the, I don't know, heated seats or whatever. So I assume black is going to go to the negative. and red, green, and red and black is going to go to the positive. So when I press this, you should get a whiz whiz noise. Wow, that was pretty cool, wasn't it? So I just press it and let it go, and it does like an entire cycle by itself. So press, come on, do it now. That's it. See, that's clever. And 1 time out of 3 it'll actually work. I think we'll just, I need a bracket, you know, the ones that go around pipes, and then I can fix it to the car body, but for the moment we'll just we'll dangle it and put some water in there and see if it actually works. So where's the in? Apparently these pumps are for Skodas, but whatever. That's got an arrow pointing in, so I assume that's in. And then, that's the original top of the original pump that turned into a big lump of iron oxide and copper oxide. Stick that on there. And then we need to fill it up, which is quite easy. Undo the cap, take out the bottle and fill it up at the tap. Right, drop that back in. Now that is elegant design. All right, let's reposition you so we can see if this actually sprays some water around. That was the rear wiper. Pump is not quite, it's not quite managing to get the water up. Maybe it's not powerful enough. Try and put it lower. I wonder if the pipes are actually blocked. Let's just take that out. I see, the pipes aren't blocked because it's not even connected here. Right, first of all, can we pump any water out of it whatsoever? Let's try and pump it all over the engine first. Well, there we go. Okay. We have a dribble. Alright. Do you get the impression it's not entirely me and maybe this just never really worked that well? Do you think? Right, but where does this all connect to then? We're going to have to take a peek behind the egg box to see, to check on her plumbing. And of course on a normal Allegro that's quite easy, you just undo the screws and pull it off, but we've got things in the way. I thought this was going to be a really short video. Oh, right. Well, let's have a look at that. Like a lot of Allegro things, it's never as bad as it looks. All I have to do is put my connector on there, and then I think we've got it nailed. Where did this flipping thing come from? It goes in there. Then we dribble water all over the place. Good. It's on. Oh yeah. Okay. I'll just put one screw in place and then we'll try it again. Okay, here goes nothing. What's up with you? Oh, it worked. And it continues to work. I do believe the clever girl is now just siphoning off the screen wash through the pump. And it's just going to carry on like that. And I can either let it carry on like that, or I can intervene. I will intervene. What a cluster. Okay, I'm going to use some physics talk here. I think we've demonstrated the principle, but it doesn't work. So there are kind of actual important things I need to do in this car, and the headlight wipers, I know this sounds harsh, but they're just absolutely not important at all. They're just there to sit there and look cool and just keep out of my way and not cause any trouble. So what do you think? Do you think these things ever worked? I mean, there are some Allegro owners in Sweden who've got these. I'm going to be bold enough to say that if they did work, they probably don't work in the 21st century. So I'm going to leave it at that. I think we've got all the components in. I can tidy it all up and install it, but yeah. Maybe in another phase of this restoration I'll try and make them work properly. But until then, I think we'll leave it there, and let's get this thing jacked up next, drain the oil out, and get to work on the brakes and take the displacers out, because we need brakes and we need suspension, and we need it now, and we really don't need functioning headlight wipers, cool as they are. So I'm going to leave it there. She's always got something to school me in. Electrics, just up versus down problems, siphoning problems. That's the second time that we've had water being siphoned out of her for reasons. The first time was definitely my incompetence. This time, I'm not so keen to take the blame. I think this whole setup is just built to fail, basically. But it's fun and it's different. It looks cool. Anyway, that's it for this video. See you next time.